Hey, what's going on? It's Knock Rio, and I thought I'd get on here and show you guys something else that I found that might be important, might be something that can help you when you're registering your music. So I don't go into Audio Mac much. I don't use Audio Mac, but for whatever reason, I hit the app today and or this morning, and it opened up, and there's not a lot going on in there. But I noticed that there's some tabs there that you can kind of swipe through some other services that they're connected to. And one of them that I found was called Mogul. And I thought it was interesting because what it does, it aggregates your royalties in one place, so that you can see all that stuff in one place. So I figured that I'd jump in here and show you that today. I'm already kind of logged in my account already here. You can see where it says get started with Mogul. There's a bunch of things that you can do here, right? So one is to connect your distributor. So if you're using, DistroKid, or you're using TuneCore, or CD Baby or someone for your distributor, you will be able to connect it. You click on this and you go ahead and connect it up, right? Here are some of the options that they have. Let me go back here. Then you can connect your PRO as well, your performing rights organization. I have BMI. You may have another one, SOCAN or ASCAP or PRS. You can connect that. Then you can connect your publishing administrator. Now, my publishing administrator is the same as my distributor. It's TuneCore, so I don't know why it's not showing that it's connected, because I definitely connected it, and it is showing the revenue from that. So I don't know why it's not greened out. I don't know why it's not showing that it's connected, but it is. Then it says connect neighboring rights. This is something that I haven't done yet, but there are a few neighboring rights organizations that you can select here. We've got Sound Exchange, Collective Lime Blue, and PPL, which I believe is in the UK. You can actually go ahead and connect any of those sources that you have. You can invite your team as well, apparently. So if you're a label and you've got multiple artists or whatever, you can do this for multiple artists. It's going to tell you what your revenue is for the last 12 months here. You click this see more, it's going to show you more, right? It tells you what your catalog valuation is. Like if you were wanting to sell your catalog, what you might be able to sell it for or get an advance for. I don't know if I'm interested in that at $300 or whatever like that. I think it's worth more than that at this point, especially with the things that we're going to be doing next. Revenue opportunities. So it says we have identified 35 potential issues across 30 of your tracks and compositions. So you can actually view the audit. Now, this audit, if you're not on the pro level with them, you're only going to see a few lines. The pro level is like $5 a month, so I went ahead and paid the $5 or whatever. I think it's worth having the information all in one place. So for me, it's great. They do have a free tier, so you can set it up with a free tier, and then later on, when maybe you've got more music distributed and all that stuff, and you're concerned about it, then you can maybe move up to the to the $5 tier, which is the pro tier. It's a small cost to pay to be able to understand where your royalties are and if everything is actually registered. They do have a registration process too that I'll show you later, but that costs a little bit more money. But for $5, you're going to be able to get all your information. Now, when I clicked on my audit here, my audit score was 67%, which is poor, right? From the school I'm coming from, that's a D. So I feel like, okay, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Something's not right with my registrations. I need to get in here and make sure that things are correct. So you can think you do it correct, or you can use some services or whatever and find out maybe where your issues are. For $5 a month, I'd like to know where those issues. So I got some high priority issues here. 29 of them are with my mechanical royalties, right? So it's the MLC. If you guys are familiar with the MLC, this group here, the MLC, that's who they're talking about. So I have registration issues there, and what I've been going through is finding some of those issues and fixing them. Let's skip this here. We don't really need to do this. What is going on here? Close that. All right. So, yeah. So I looked in here and I was like, oh, wow, there's 29 of those issues. Some of the other ones down here, I understand. I think it's because I've got collaborations where I don't have the IPI numbers and the information for the other writers. So I've got to go through that and just kind of look at it, maybe get in contact with them, get their information, make sure everything's registered, and go from there. But yeah, so we've got mechanical royalties here. It says that we need to get some fixes on. It says MLC registration issue. Unmatched recordings refer to tracks or recordings that have been recording as earning streams by DSPs, such as Spotify, to the MLC, or for which the MLC doesn't know which composition matches that recording. So you have to take that composition, match it to the recording that you've got out there on your distribution, and then they can kind of talk to each other and make sure that you're actually getting the revenues and the royalties that you're supposed to be getting. So I've got a bunch of these that are not paying me royalties that probably should. I know that on Spotify, you have to get 1,000 streams for the song to start paying you royalties there, but that doesn't mean that you're not getting the royalties on on the MLC or your PRO and all that. Like, that's all separate. So don't think because I don't have 1,000 streams on this particular song within the year for Spotify that you're not entitled to some royalties. There are other royalties that you're still entitled to. So we're using this tool to go ahead and resolve this issue, right? So Mogul ensures that mechanical royalties being paid out by the Mechanical Licensing Collective are properly registered and being paid out for a songwriter's compositions. Each time a song is streamed or pressed to physical CD and vinyl, a mechanical royalty is paid to the songwriters and composers of that composition. So you can see that there's more money in this than just streaming. So when it's funny because I see so many people complaining about Spotify, and it's like, well, Spotify is not the only distributor, number one. I think I looked up the other day and there's like 2,500 distributors over the whole world or something. There's more distributors. Your music might be getting played in more places. There's radio. There's other things like online radios, like iHeartRadio or something like that. You've got lots of places where your music can be played. You've got radio stations. You've got web radio stations. So there's lots of places you can be getting money from. So I looked here and I saw $1 million was on this list or whatever. $1 million is a song that's a great song actually on my album 53, right? So I went here. I can see that it's been on these DSPs, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. I've got the ISRC here. And so I wanted to fix the issue, right? So I went over here into my matching tool in the MLC. If you register your songs with the MLC, you'll want to match up your songs. And I think that's something that I kind of neglected to do. Most of my previous works are matched up. For whatever reasons, a lot of the newer stuff is not matched up. So when I went here, let's go and put in $1 million. Should be in there already, should kind of come up because I've already typed it in here, right? I can get the ISRC from here. Oh, did I just close it? I think I just closed it. All right, let's see. Let's go back to use Mogul, right? I think I closed it by accident. All right, let's go ahead and log in here. All right, so I'm still logged in. So let's put this tab back over here and try not to close it again. Let's go back to our audit. We're going to go down here to our issues again. Well, cool. We got to see the process again. So we know we're working with $1 million, right? So we're going to get the ISRC here. That's one thing that we can put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and add it here. I can search it like this. And it shows up, $1 million, right? So then I need to just select it here and match one group. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. I'm going to re-enter $1 million here. It's probably going to show up on my list. I'm going to look down here on the list and my IPI number is already in here. It's this top number here. This is my writer name. I can use any of that stuff. Anything on this list you can use to kind of pull up the song if you want to connect the song. I'll just go with the IPI number. No results found, right? That is because, and when you see this, it may be because it's already matched. So let me go back here to, go here to my matching history. And you see that I already matched this morning. So this is why nothing came up. But we're going to do another one so you can see the process. So I just wanted you to see like that you don't freak out when nothing comes up. It may be that it's already matched. Now, if you go to your catalog, which is up here on your menu, you can put in, say, like this song here, Down for Tonight or whatever. This is one that was already matched. So if I click on it and I scroll all the way to the bottom, you see matched recordings. And it's going to tell you it matched to Spotify, it matched to YouTube or whatever. So it's already matched. So anytime this is already matched, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do this process. But anything that's not matched, you definitely have to do it, right? So let's go. I want to go down this list here. I've been basically just going down the list this morning and working on this. Just making sure I don't miss anything. So I just did State of the World. 5/5s is already done. Friday Night is on my album 53. I would imagine that it's not matched because none of those have been matched yet. So I have no matched recordings, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get it matched up. I'm going to go here to my matching tool. I'm going to type in the title, Friday Night. Then I'm going to add a criteria. I'm just going to use my name here as the writer. This is my government name. You can use your IPI number or I guess your recording artist name here as well. If I put Knock Real Beats in there, it'll come up as well. I'll go ahead and hit search. And everything that's kind of like in that range, they want to give you all of the options that may be something that you want to match, because you might have radio versions, you might have instrumental versions, you might have all these different versions or whatever. If you want to match them as like a group or something like that, you can. They do have a video on that for on YouTube for the MLC does have a video where she did a webinar talking about that. But the only one here that really matches me is going to be this top one here. They have an estimated value for it, which, you know, if you go over here, it's going to explain what that estimated value is. If it's $1 sign, it means it's less than $1. So, you know, right now it's not making a lot of money. If it's $2 signs, it's between $1 and $10. If it's $3 signs, it's between $10.01 up to $50 and so on, right? So if you got some dollar signs there, that might mean you've got some money for things that are not matched up. Look at this one here. He's got $4 signs here. So that means there's money sitting there for him. $4 signs is what? Between $50.01 up to $250. This guy's got money sitting here. He doesn't know that he has money sitting here. So there's money for him to collect, right? And there's a few people down here with money to collect. There's millions of dollars out here that no one's collecting because I think a lot of people don't know. So that's kind of why I'm doing this for you guys to, you know, come on the Knock Real Beats channel and get some information that's usable. All right, so we're going to select it, right? So we click select, and then we're going to match one group. We're going to click continue. Then we have to put the name in here again. So we're going to select Friday Night. And then I'm just going to put my IPI number because I just know what it is. That's my IPI number, or I could put my writer name or whatever in there. I'm going to click search. And it found Friday Night under my name, right? And the MLC song code and all that stuff is there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit select and confirm. And once that's done, you will have you've submitted it for matching, right? So it's going to be pending. It's not something that's going to happen automatically. I don't know how long it takes for them to actually match it up, but you want to do this process and then let it sit and marinate and let them do what they got to do, right? But we've connected it so that if it does earn royalties, say it's getting, you know, played somewhere or whatever, we have the potential for it to actually pay us. Let's maybe do another one. Let's go ahead and go back to the catalog here. We're going to go down. It pretty much stays in order. I think I did like we already. Let me just double check here. I think I did like we. Let me check my matching history. Yeah, my like we is done. So maybe it's not staying in order, but we should be pretty close. Let's see here. Go down and see if we can find anything else that kind of should be done, but's not. $1 million certified. We've got all of that done. These are all older. This haterade is on my 53 album. I bet you that it's not matched. It's not matched, right? So we probably ought to match that one. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to the matching tool. We're going to type that in. We're going to select my name and search. Okay, so I'm the only one that actually came up on that list. We're going to go ahead and select it and then match the group. Sorry if you couldn't see that. I think that little match button is sitting a little bit. I can see it behind my picture, but it's there. It'll come up and say match one group. You're going to go ahead and click to continue there. We're going to go here. We're going to start to type it in again. We're going to choose my IPI number here, search, and it comes up, right? So I'm going to select it and confirm. And now we have a pending match for haterade. So, you know, in any opportunity that is earning royalties that the MLC should be collecting, then it'll be collected, right? So I'm resolving some of these issues that will be over here. Now, $1 million, we fixed the issue. I'm going to leave this like it is. I'm not going to click that and mark it as fixed. I don't know if you can see that. Let me slide this over real quick and maybe you can see that better. Okay, so yeah, so mark as fixed here. I'm not going to mark it as fixed until it's actually accepted in the MLC because I want to go back through this list, make sure that it's actually corrected in the MLC before I mark this as fixed. You know, that's just me just being organized and making sure that I have a way to go back. And if I have to go back into the MLC and look, I know what to look for, right? So there's a bunch of things in here. I noticed that Byte Bullets is in here. I'm not the one who really registered that. I don't know what the registration is like, but I might send something out to the parties that be with that and let them know that it looks like the mechanical royalties are not being paid out. So that's gonna affect us a lot here because there's a lot of people on that particular project. That was the Cipher Tape project. So there's a lot of artists. I think we had 50 rappers and 19 producers were on that project. So we all have a little piece of that. And if we're supposed to be getting more royalties from the project, then we should register it the right way or whatever. So I'm going to reach out or whatever. Maybe I'll send something to Nick and see if, you know, maybe he and friends can actually go ahead and look that over and go ahead and make sure that we get this squared away, because there may be royalties for some of the guys and the girls that were rapping on the project and they're not receiving that. We want them to receive their money, right? So that's something that's important. If you're collaborating with people, then you need to make sure that it's taken care of. I think I did this certified hitter this morning. I was able to do that one. The do too much I did this morning as well. We're going to be waiting on that. Enough feeling on your booty. Friday night I did halfway. I haven't done yet, so I'm going to look at that one and make sure. We just did haterade I've done. So we're gonna make sure that all of these issues kind of get fixed, right? We need to make sure that everybody is eligible to get paid for their royalties and all that stuff. And so I think this is probably a good service to have, especially if it's going to point out what issues you might have. This mogul.com. It might be a good thing for you to have, even if you just get the free version now, and it's going to start connecting up your distributor and your PRO and the neighboring rights organization and all that stuff, your publishing administrator, connect all that stuff up and know what kind of know what kind of issues you might have with the registrations that you have. And, if you want to pay the $5 or whatever, pay the $5, get all that information and start fixing your registrations, because as a musician, you need every penny you can get. You don't want to be out here with money sitting out there for you. Even if it's just pennies, like, it's your money. So make sure that you're set up, because if you get into a position where maybe you've got a great record comes out and it's successful, you don't want to not be registered, right? You don't know how long it can be. I've got a couple of tracks that have paid me some publishing, and I think you guys may have seen the videos that I did on that. They've paid me publishing, and I had no idea, because it wasn't streaming revenue. So if I go into Spotify for artist or whatever, or Apple for artist or whatever, I don't get that information. There's no streaming. It's not from streaming. It's from maybe web radio or something. It came from a different source, and it was in Sweden. It was in another country. So I had no idea that anyone was playing it, and there was revenues from that. And now I have this new thing with there's a song that's getting a lot of Shazams. Foreigns, I believe, is the I think Foreigns. It's a beat that I did. Whew, wow, that had to be like 2000, maybe 21, 22 when I made this beat. I finally put it up. I think I put it up on TuneCore maybe in 2022. Hadn't heard it in forever. I had to go back and listen to it to find out what the beat sounded like. When I got into Apple Music for Artists, I found out that there's a bunch of Shazams for it. It's had like 130, I think as of yesterday, like 138 Shazams. So if 138 people are taking out their phone and say, hey, what beat is this? What is this? That means they're hearing it somewhere. Are you hearing it in a supermarket? Are you hearing it in a bar? Are you hearing it, on web radio? Are you hearing it on a podcast? I don't know yet. I don't have any of that information, but I know it's not streams like normal, streams from Spotify or Apple Music or something. So that's why it's good to have your publishing and everything set up the way, set up correctly, so that you can get the royalties, because obviously it's being played somewhere. So I've got to be able to collect the revenue from those places. So we've got to get registered. We've got to have everything the correct way. I know this is the part of the business that the musicians don't like. If you don't have a teammate or somebody who can do that for you, you got to get in there and do it. So today I'm dedicating my time to make sure I go and fix these issues to the best of my ability. I'll let all that kind of sort itself out. And then when, we'll see what issues are left, and then we'll work through those, and we'll just work through them until we get them all squared away. But I just thought I would come share this with you guys, because I think it's important that you get registered correctly. And, if we're entitled to the revenue, we probably should be getting it, because the game costs money, right? All of this costs money. Wherever we're, whatever we're producing on, whatever we're using, all of these things cost money. You want a little of that money to come back so that you can continue producing and all that stuff. So, once again, this is Knock Real. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have questions, let me know, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.